That doesn't usually happen in most cases. And I will say that when I got involved in the case and I met with Jabrill, and the first thing I said at the arraignment is that we had evidence that exonerated him, that showed he was not guilty. And we presented that to the district attorney's office. Unfortunately, they were not interested in looking at that, although they looked at it. And in most of these, if not all domestic violence cases, the way things go right now is they have what's called a no-drop policy. Almost every district attorney's office in the state. So if a man is charged with domestic violence, no matter what evidence you show them that shows that he's not guilty, they are not going to drop the case. And so they went forward on the case that in a situation where we felt very confident no crime had been committed. And whoever watched the case could see there were no injuries to this woman. And the jury saw through it very quickly that this was a shakedown. Her civil lawyer was in court today. I don't know why he's here. She's looking for $9.5 million. And I've always believed in Jabrill. I knew he was telling the truth. Unfortunately, many people in the media, in the sports media, in the NFL did not have the same faith, and they just assumed he was guilty. And that's the unfortunate part. His reputation was ruined. He got some of that back today. As you all know, the NFL suspended him really for no reason for 5 games, I believe it was, and put him on the exempt list, 7 games. And now it's a huge relief for him to have this case over, to have him vindicated. And I don't say this often. I usually say, well, my client was found not guilty. But in this case, I will say he was found innocent, given the state of the evidence, given how quickly the jury returned their verdict. They knew it was a joke, and that's what I have to say.
Jabrill, do you have anything you want to say, especially about, you mentioned your reputation, to the people who followed you because of your career?
Yeah, I said I had to be quiet for 3 months. This was all I could think about, and this was the first time in my life where football wasn't the most important thing on my mind. And, I had to just sit through, everybody pouring dirt on my name, everybody, for the most part, actually thinking that I did these things. And to me, crimes against children and women are the most egregious thing that you can do. And to be accused of that, it just hurt, you know what I mean? And I think that it makes it difficult for women who actually are abused, to, get their proper due. And it also sheds another light on, how men in my position can be victims or targets.
Sorry. I was just going to say, what was going through your head when the jury came back and they read the verdict?
I don't know. I was just nervous. I trusted the process. Mark did a phenomenal job pointing out all the inconsistencies in the story, keeping the trial about the facts. They tried to add a lot of fluff in there, but I think he did a real good job of speaking about what's important, and I think the jury did a real good job of really paying attention to the whole trial, really taking in all the facts, all the details of the situation, and coming back with the correct verdict.
Jabrill, you're a young man. A lot of messages have been sent towards professional athletes recently, whether they've been targeted at their homes or targeted this way. What message do you hope this sends to people that want to target pro athletes?
I think they're going to always try. In a lot of situations, a lot of guys settle because they don't want the media show. They don't want their name being dragged through the mud like that. But, I'm the type of guy where I stand for what's right. And I knew eventually the truth would come to light. It was a long 3 months for me. I lost a lot of my season to this. I couldn't be a part of the team. There was a lot of things that I couldn't do. Mentally, I was drained. But I don't think it sends any message. They're not going to stop. I just think that we need to be smarter in protecting ourselves, and I think I could have done that.
Jabrill, did you learn any lesson from this? What do you take away from this experience and dealing with people with relationships?
I just got to protect myself a little more. And I encourage, every man or woman who has something to lose, if you ever find yourself in a situation like I was in, you have to record it because that might be the only thing that saves you.
Do you think it's hurt your career, Jabrill?
I'm sorry?
Do you think it's hurt your career?
I think it hurt my reputation. I think I lost a season, missing 7 games. I tried to make a comeback, but it's tough to get back in that kind of shape. It's tough to build that callus back. But
so one thing I would like to say, because about Jabrill's character, many clients that I've had, other pro athletes that I've represented, have been in similar situations where they've been accused of doing things, and many of them, or some of them, have paid substantial amounts of money, and not just my clients, but other pro athletes, to save their name and to get this out of the news. When this woman hired a lawyer within 10 days, Douglas Wigdor, who you might think is the shakedown artist, the immediate response from myself, from Jabrill, and from 2 attorneys that we're working with in Florida, Sean Lindsay and Adam Kenner, has been, no way, we're not settling. And it really isn't our decision, it was Jabrill's decision. He said, I'm not going to pay her any money, I didn't do anything wrong. And that's been his position the whole time, and that tells you exactly all you need to know about the fact that he didn't do anything. Because if he did something and he knew he had exposure, he would have paid something. He didn't, and he has maintained that position the entire time.
Jabrill's mom, can we get a word with you? You've been there from the start with your son, correct?
Yes.
Would you step up to the mic for us? Can we get the spelling of your name?
Ivory, Ivory, Bryant, Bryant.
Just as a parent speaking, the relief that you saw hugging him in the courtroom.
I trusted the process. I trusted God. I prayed that the jury would come back with the verdict that they came back with, and I was just overjoyed. I'm happy for my son. To watch him these last few months was hard on me, and I'm glad that he has some form of vindication today, and I just pray for him just continuously.
Were you upset with a woman saying things about your son that you knew that weren't true?
I was, and I echo my son's sentiments in that when women make these type of false statements, it does hurt true victims. You know, when true victims have to come forward, they are attacked and assaulted all over again because they have to prove that they've done something. They get blamed for how they dress, if they drink anything. So there's a lot of things that comes into play that makes it difficult for real victims to come forward. And situations like that, I feel, continuously to hurt them. And I think laws should be in place to combat this.
Have you given your son any motherly advice?
As always, probably too much. But yes, you know, and just ultimately just prayed for him. As an ordained minister, I just wanted him to know that God, who sees all and knows all, would make him victorious, and we saw that today.
You looking forward to seeing him on the field?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
You're proud of Jabrill?
Very proud of him. Everything that was said is contradictory to the character that he is.
Jabrill, any final words you want to add to your fans out there, New England Patriot fans?
To those who believe me, I appreciate y'all. You know, it's still settling in on me right now because situations like this, the truth is never as loud as the accusation. It doesn't gain the same traction that the accusation did. Everybody does things for clicks. So I just hope that, you know, people do the right thing, and, you know, if you commented on this, if you push the story about this, that you push the story about the truth.
Does Mr. Peppers, did you want to say anything, sir?
Not really. I'm just happy the verdict came out the way it did. Been a good kid all his life. So,
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.